Hey guys, Sav here. Today we're going to talk about one of the most baffling Illinois cold cases that I personally have ever heard of, Jane Seneca Doe. I am reading mostly from a script because I don't want to forget anything. I've been researching this case for quite a while, but I tried to organize the details kind of in a compact way, but so that you guys can get the picture. So I will be reading, so if you see me looking down, that's what's going on. So on October 2nd, 1976, a farmer found the body of a young woman in rural Seneca, Illinois, along Route 6 while out on his tractor. The woman was left nude with her head covered with a green plastic bag taped shut with black electrical tape and with a black, red, and white sweater or cardigan wrapped over her head, according to the police reports. The farmer had notified the authorities. Grundy County Sheriff's officers discovered that the young black woman had died from a gunshot wound to her head. They determined that the woman had been dead for approximately 1 day. Her description is noted as being estimated between the ages of 15 and 27. She had black hair and brown eyes. She stood approximately 5'7" at around 150 pounds. It was also noted that she had a scar on her right hip and a scar or a birthmark on her lower right abdomen. There was a half-empty bottle of TJ Swan wine that was found near the body, but they weren't certain if it was actually related to the case. The price tag on the cardigan was still attached. It was noted that her teeth seemed to have been well cared for and that she had not been recently pregnant. On December 18th, more than 2 months after her body had been found, a bag was found nearby that location that could have belonged to her. The items contained in that bag were a bra, 2 pairs of underwear, a tattered skirt, a pair of patent leather heels, a pair of pantyhose, and 2 other pairs of pantyhose that were each tied into 2 loops in a way that resembled rope restraints. The pantyhose were described as similar to a pair of handcuffs due to the size of the hoops. Jane Seneca Doe was never identified despite all of the efforts to do so, and she was placed in an unmarked grave at Braceville Gardner Cemetery on Thanksgiving Day 1976. In recent years, authorities in Grundy County have been continuing to go above and beyond in order to return the name to this young woman. On December 18, 2018, Jane Seneca Doe's remains were exhumed by the coroner's office in order to utilize advancements in DNA technology. This is huge, by the way. Using the molar development method, forensic odontologist Denise C. Merman calculated Jane Seneca Doe's approximate age to be 20.90 plus or minus 5.25 years. In January 2019, her femur was sent to the University of North Texas Center for Human Identification in Fort Worth, Texas, using a grant from the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System and the Department of Justice. The lab was able to develop a full female DNA profile. It was entered into the Combined DNA Index System, where the national database continues to search for potential matches nationwide. Deputy Chief Coroner Brandon Johnson partnered with the DNA Doe Project, an all-volunteer organization that uses genealogical DNA to identify unidentified individuals. Recently, the Doe Project discovered what was initially believed to be a half-sister to the victim. However, the project learned that the person is actually a first cousin to the victim from New York. We have had several close matches like this, where it's a first cousin, second cousin, somewhere in the tree. It just needs to be that right match, the right puzzle piece, so to speak. To find out who she is within the family tree and what her name is, what they say now is it's possible that our Jane Doe was born in either Selma, Alabama, or Cincinnati, Ohio, Johnson said. On NamUs, you can find the genealogy research profile. So genealogy research, which was conducted by the DNA Doe Project, suggests the following. The decedent was likely born between 1948 and 1960 and would have been missing by October of 1976. Her parents may have come from Selma, Alabama. One set of her grandparents were from Selma, Alabama. One of her grandparents was likely named Calhoun. One great-grandparent may have been named Harris. Jane Doe's grandparents or great-grandparents had a very large family and raised the family primarily in Dallas County, Alabama. They may have also lived in Wilcox County, Alabama. Some family members stayed in Alabama, while others moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, and Detroit, Michigan. It is possible that Jane Doe's parents stayed in Selma, Alabama. She may have siblings who were unaware of her existence. Anyone who recognizes her image or had lost contact with a family member, friend, or loved one around October 2nd, 1976, is urged to call Deputy Chief Coroner Brandon Johnson at 815-942-3792 or email at bjohnson@grundycountyil.gov. I will have all of that listed in the description box down below. Okay, and now to go off script a bit, I wanted to give a shout out to the people who are working so hard on this case at the DNA Doe Project, as well as Deputy Chief Coroner Brandon Johnson. I also spoke to Chief Deputy Christina Hintz Simoniak, I believe is what her name is. And then I also want to say thanks to Coroner John W. Callahan. I think that the three of them and everybody else who is involved in trying to find the identity of this young woman, I think they're all doing an amazing job. And I'm very, very happy to see that. So the fact that these people are trying so hard, even after all this time, it's amazing to see, and I'm very thankful for them. So thank you to them.